If Nitro Type never received updates, the game would get pretty stale rather quickly, but some updates were better than others. Today, I'll be talking about some of my favorite and least favorite updates done on Nitro Type. Before we get started, I wanted to mention that I'm currently hosting a Nitro Type account rating competition. If you haven't entered already, make sure you do, because everyone who enters gets a chance to win some Nitro Type cash, regardless of how well you do in the actual account rating segment. I'll link the instructions for entering in the description of this video, and is in most of my other recent videos as well, just in case you can't find it in this one. Now, on to the video. Let's get started with some of my favorite Nitro Type updates, in no particular order. We have first Season Rewards. This update may not be remembered by newer players, but seasons used to just be kind of boring competitions on the leaderboards, where like the top racers would get like titles and cash and stuff, but unless you were like top 15 or better, you didn't have any rewards and it was kind of boring. It provided almost no motivation to race. Unless you were a no-life grinder, then I guess it gave a little bit of motivation to race, but in Season 21, Nitro Type added cars, titles, and cash as rewards for seasons, and then seasons by default also started to get themes, which made the game a lot more interesting. Players no longer needed to wait for events for an interesting thing to happen in the game. Going along with the season theme, the Infinity tier is legitimately one of the best updates to the game ever, and it's kind of underappreciated. Once a racer has gotten to the Infinity tier, they can essentially double the amount of cash they earn from racing, with intervals of about 35 to 40 races per Infinity tier. One great update that Nitro Type needed to do was to add two-factor authentication, so I was pretty happy when they finally added this feature. It allows for a much greater amount of account security, and I highly recommend that if you have not enabled this already, please do. Another fantastic update in my opinion was the shortening of races. This update also allowed all users to have an infinite supply of nitros, so you didn't really have to earn them anymore. You used to earn them from getting like first and second place in a race. While I didn't initially like this update, it was nice being able to complete a race in about 25 seconds instead of 40. But I still do miss stockpiling nitros. Finally, I wanted to mention the item shop. This replaced the very stale dealership and is a great way for Nitro Type to bring in fresh content. It was also the first major source of animated cars and trails, which at the time were very new, and I mean they're still pretty cool. I'll take them over static stuff anytime. Alright, starting off the negative updates, I'll start with the one that really made a lot of people mad, and that was changing Nitro Type Gold membership from a permanent membership to a yearly membership. This took a huge incentive out of getting gold. Many people are willing to spend $10 on a typing game once, but a lot less people want to spend $10 a year on a typing game. I was fortunate enough to get gold before the update, and I'm glad that they honored that, and that they didn't make us all pay yearly. But I do appreciate not having to renew it every year, but I'm sure a lot of other players would appreciate it. But as Nitro Type moves away from an advertiser-centered money-making model, it's likely a sad necessity for them to carry out this update to ensure that they're still making money, because ultimately they're a company, they have to bring in money to pay their employees. The second negative update was the removal of events. Now, we just have seasons, and while seasons are good, I do prefer events. Events were harder and more complex. You didn't just race to get rewards, you had to do other things. You had to like use nitros in session and things like that. And it was generally just, in my opinion, a little bit more fun, a little more interesting. Another negative update was when Nitro Type removed the news comments. And there were problems with the comment system, I do agree, but I greatly enjoyed communicating directly with other Nitro Type players without having to go through a third-party service like Discord or Reddit. Another one of my least favorite updates was the removal of large session achievements. I would have preferred they left them in as hidden achievements. I don't really think the achievements incentivized excessive grinding, because excessive grinders would do the sessions anyways for many days in a row. We've already seen that, not just to get the achievements. Not to mention, in order for a healthy racer to injure themselves sessioning, they'd have to do way more racing than even the highest sessions required to fulfill all of the session achievements. Finally, I wish that Nitro Type had not added a cash sending cap. While you can get the sending limit increased or removed, I dislike how much of a pain it is running a giveaway until you can get the cash sending cap removed or increased. I actually think the reverse situation of this update would make more sense, where you can request to have the cash sending cap on your account added for security, but you have to specially request it. This way, the people who want it can have it, and the people who don't want it don't have to deal with it. However, I'm sure having this system in place would probably be a nightmare for support, considering the amount of requests they would likely receive, and considering there's only a couple people that work for Nitro Type support. If you enjoyed today's video, please let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know if there's any major updates you would add or remove from the list. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.